John Lynch went on with Matt Mayoka recently, and I think he's trying to really reassure fans. So he said a couple of things. He's like, look, we knew we were going to have to go cheaper, go younger this year, and we did. And we knew we were going to have to take some lumps. We're going to have to, live with some growing pains. But, once we're through that, it's going to be great. And it sounds great. They let a lot of players go this year, but we've gone through it. There's not one player in particular that you said the Niners really should have brought this guy back. Still, though, $46 million in salary cap space, and they're talking about taking lumps. As a fan, does that sit well with you? Do you feel like, hey, man, if you're counting on taking lumps at 2, 3, 4 positions, why don't you just spend some more money, use some of that cap space? Or do you trust the plan? Do you trust the process? How do you feel?
I trust it.
How come?
I actually trust it because, there's something about, like John has said the whole offseason, like, he wants to get younger. And, like, my stance has been, like, I want the Niners to get younger. Clearly, the team that we had was not going to get the job done in the Super Bowl. We saw what that, looked like for 5-6 years. And in order to get younger, you have to just say, kind of screw it to the cap and not spend money on those players. Because when you draft players, like, what Niner fans are used to is Darrell Luter Jr. getting drafted and sitting on the sideline for the last 3 years because they're paying are ahead of it. You know what I mean? Like, eventually this guy's got to play. Eventually you have to see what you have in that player. Otherwise, what is he just going to sit on the sideline? You know what I mean? Like, these players, like what we've been used to talking about, like, with IU getting drafted, like, he sat, we had, we had Sanders, we had other wide receivers that were playing ahead of him because we were paying for them. At some point, you have to, like, play the young guys, see what you have, see how your draft went, and then at that point, you could be like, okay, we have this young player. Whether it's Jordan Watkins, whether the D line's set. Like, why would we go out and, like, my point is, why would we go out and spend on a D lineman? Pick up a juicy contract, and then we draft those guys, and they end up being really good, and we don't even really need that guy. You know what I mean? Then it's just a waste of money at that point. So I like the rebuild. I think they should have done it earlier. I thought they should have done it at the trade deadline last season. I thought they could have gotten something for Talanoa. I thought they could have gotten something for Dre, even though he was injured. Like, there's a lot of players that we got rid of, or weren't able to bring back, I should say, that we could have gotten rid of and snagged draft picks, and just gotten more capital. So I thought they should have done it earlier. So now that they're finally doing it, I'm stoked.
I agree. I just feel like, Nick, yeah, play the rookies, but I feel like in positions that we need help in, like cornerback, why couldn't we sign Jair to that contract or give him more? Like, I know he took less to go there, but that's the type of player, like, you sign.
Sure.
Or
but the 1 year deals are different than going out and spending like a chunk change, because the 43 million is a lot of money. But I agree. When you get, I mean, I said it when we talked about it last week's show. Like, if you can get Jair for a 1 year deal, snag it for sure. 6 million, I would have snagged him, no doubt. But he also said he took less to go to Baltimore because he's friends with Lamar. So it's kind of tough. Like, what were we going to get him at? 1 year, 10? I would assume that's kind of what we offered him. I would have been fine with that too.
Is Justin Simmons still available?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a guy, like, our safety position is kind of iffy right now. That's the type of guy you go out and you sign. That's a guy that I would like to sign because, like, we have all this money, but I do agree with Nick. Yes, we have to play our rookies finally because we never, ever do.
Yeah,
that's true. I agree with that. But I think also, like, there's a balance there because you're in a situation where, you're going to give these rookies an opportunity to play, but not all of them are going to do well right away. Some of them will be hurt. Alfred Collins is hurt right now.
Yeah.
There's like, you're walking a tightrope here. You're not really giving yourself much leeway. And if these rookies aren't really super productive right away, there's a world where this team has a losing record again. You know what I mean? And I feel like in year 9 of this administration, that's kind of dangerous. I don't know if you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. Someone could get fired. A lot of people just got fired last year. So to me, just like, for the sake of I just feel like John Lynch would prefer to have a couple vets too. I don't know that this is necessarily his plan. This feels like, when he talks, it feels like what he's saying is, look, man, the York said we had to do this. We're doing the best we can. You know what I mean? Like, they said you got to get cheaper and younger. We're trying to get cheaper and younger. So remember that if we happen to go 7-10 this year, because hell yeah, we'd like to have a D lineman. Alfred Collins is hurt right now. Like, What did John say? Kyle said like Kyle couldn't breathe after he was told that the Yorks were going to take away some of the budget, and he finally exhaled after the draft when they had some starting D linemen. So to me, this is coming down from the top. And again, my question is, why would the Yorks be reluctant to sign a few more vets? We've talked about it from a football perspective, but if this is from like a purely business perspective, knowing what we know about what the Yorks are invested in around the world, why might they not want to invest an extra $30 million this year?
I don't think it has to do with that.
They've been more than eager to invest that kind of money in football. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, and download the app now.
I don't think it has to do with that though, because in my opinion, like I see how there's like obviously the soccer side of it and the business, but I do get a vibe that they are separated. One and two, like York is like Jed's kind of fed up with not winning a Super Bowl, considering like Eddie was like it was like Super Bowl or die with Eddie. You know what I mean? Like he was firing coaches that have done better than Kyle. You know what I mean? And so like him and Walsh were bickering back and forth. And like Walsh is one of the greatest coaches of all time, you know? So I get the vibe that like Jed is just wants a reset and wants to go back after it, because the way I look at sports and like, you know, teams that I'm a fan of, like the worst position you can be in is keep spending and keep running it back. And you're just constantly in this, or like, you know how they say like the opposite of great is good, or like the I forgot what the word is, like the devil the great is good. And that's the problem. It's like that's kind of the road we were headed down of like, yeah, we can spend that 43 million and we might be good, but we're not winning a Super Bowl with this team. We're just not. We're not.
It's true.
And so what is it? Run it back with a 43 million, keep business good, keep Jed making money. I don't think Jed really cares about making money. Like I think it's like kind of flipping the switch to where like, yeah, of course he wants to make money, but he wants a Super Bowl. Like he doesn't want to just live in the shadow of Eddie and never win one. Like that, I feel like that's his worst nightmare. And so I feel like he's just like, you know, at this point, just fuck it. Like, let's reset.
Okay. But I want to stick with this because I like this conversation a lot. I'd understand if he said, let's reset. But my thing is like,
something in the chat.
Dave Barkley says, whether you reach out to Make-A-Wish kids, I try. You know what I mean? Everyone deserves
insane.
Dude, everyone thinks Nick's a kid. Everyone thinks Nick's like, Nick, how old are you? 27?
Yeah, about to be 27.
That's crazy.
I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
You're talking probably about Eddie, I think, right? Or Jed.
Yeah, I mean,
you're saying everybody thinks.
Everybody, I don't remember what I was talking about. Well, I guess what I was trying to say is, look, I was bringing up the soccer thing. You saw what the Red Sox did. They traded away Rafael Devers, and Red Sox fans are like, why? Why did we do this? This is our best hitter. Well, the Red Sox also own Liverpool. And it turns out that Liverpool is signing Florian Wirtz, like a German soccer player, like £100 million deal. And they can say it's not related, just like the Niners can say that Leeds and the 49ers aren't related. But it sure looks like those two things were related with the Red Sox. And it sure looks like the Niners like increased investment in Leeds coincided with a off year or whatever they're calling it. I don't know. Like, as Niner fans, do you give a single solitary fuck about Leeds United?
No, but to be fair, also, the Red Sox owners also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure, like 99% positive, they also own the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Penguins have tanked the last 2 years and sold a bunch of their players too. So it's kind of all linked.
Grant, I don't think Leeds spend do they spend a lot of money? Because like you're comparing Liverpool to Leeds, and Liverpool spends a lot more than Leeds.
Well, the thing with Leeds is they just got promoted to the Premier League this year. So I think the idea is most teams that get promoted get relegated immediately after, like the year after, because it's the bottom three teams. So they're going to have to spend a lot just to hopefully not get relegated. So what I'm going to be doing this offseason is I'm now covering the 49ers and Leeds. And anytime Leeds signs a player, I'm going to make sure that 49er fans know about it, because Niner fans are huge Leeds soccer fans, right? I'm pretty sure.
I love care.
Yeah.
Leeds. Go Leeds.
Yeah. W Leeds.
Absolutely. Go Leeds. I just became a soccer. I don't know anything. I played the sport in high school, but I don't really know much about professional soccer.
Everybody thinks I'm
in the
Canadian
building.
too. I'm not Canadian.
Let's go, Nick. Nick, we're both kids and we're both Canadian.
I live in the desert, brother.
Is there any other points I wanted to make about them not using their cap space? I thought there was one really
I love how you're going to do
smart point I
articles
was going
on
to make about that.
Lead sign striker Joel Armand, and you're going to be like, how does this impact the 49ers? Like, that's so funny.
And in related news, the 49ers did nothing. It just feels like the Niners spent enough money to like avoid criticism this offseason.
Well,
they spent on their own guy. No, here's what I wanted to say. Okay, here we go. So what is the point of wanting to do the reset and potentially risk another losing season if some of these rookies don't pan out when you have Trent Williams and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey? Like, you're potentially wasting another critical year of their careers. Like, what? Why would you even take that risk? Like, hey, Trent, there's a real chance we go 8-9 this year if Alfred Collins and Michael Williams aren't really good. Sorry.
But I agree.
You could have said the same thing about Calvin Johnson on the Detroit Lions.
I agree with Nick.
Stafford, like, they were horrible and they weren't spending money on players. They had Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson. You know what I mean? They wasted their whole careers, basically.
Right. And then everyone got fired in Detroit. And then they brought in the guys from the Rams, and now they know they're doing better.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, that's all I'm saying. It's like, I understand resetting. And you guys said, like, this core isn't going to win a Super Bowl. I absolutely agree. But you kept the core. And it seems to me that if you're relying on so many rookies to make this season worthwhile for a few vets who don't have much time left, which is, again, an interesting tightrope to walk, and you could pull it off, but it's going to be interesting.
I think it's nice, though. We're finally relying on rookies. I don't remember the last time we did this. Like, we always, like, this $46 million, we always usually spend it. Now this is the final, like, now we're not going to spend it, which I like that. We're changing it up a little bit.